Hey everybody, it's Glidercat and it's time to play. Today we're going to jump in and start a Let's Play series here on Timberborn. If you didn't catch the first look video I've got up on this, go ahead and check that out. But if you already know what the game's all about, then you're in the right place. We'll get a season started here. Right now, Timberborn is in a closed beta. It's a little difficult to get keys for this one, but they do have contests on their Discord server, so go check that out. But let's see, I've got the opening screen here. Let's just skim through this real quick. It mentions that they're in a closed beta. It mentions that that this new version brings exciting new mechanics which drastically change the gameplay. And that could happen again, right? They could have more releases during the beta period that break gameplay. So we'll see how far we can take this season. Hopefully we won't get a new build that breaks our save, but if we do, we'll just start over and take it from there and leverage the new features. But for this build, it looks like they added an irrigation system. It says only land within a short distance of water is arable. The rest of the map is a desolate desert. Whoever did this to Earth? And it says droughts. Rivers dry out during dry seasons, which can come at semi-regular intervals. You better be prepared. Next, new buildings. Scavenger hut, explosive factory, irrigation tower, and a small water tank. And then new terrain art style, which is better suited for the harsh environment. Redesigned maps for more interesting play with irrigation and droughts. And then it says a word of caution. It's an early beta. Be prepared for bugs, performance issues, and crashes. We keep adding new content, including completely new mechanics. We need your feedback. In order to share yours, go to the Go to Feedback site button or fill out the questionnaire upon exiting the game. All right, cool. Let's just jump in. And I'm going to start a new game. And let's see what our choices are. Looks like we've got one choice here for, we got common beaver, eager beaver, or fancy beaver. And I think you have to unlock these as you progress in the game. But it says common beavers lead a healthy, balanced lifestyle, great for your first playthrough. Eager beavers require very little sleep, but they consume more food. Choose this race for a more challenging experience. And then you have to reach an average well-being of 8 before you can actually unlock that. Then the last option here is fancy beaver. Refuse to decorate your settlement and fancy beavers will die of misery. Oh yeah, they also breed like rabbits. To unlock, reach the average well-being of 11 while playing eager beaver. Okay, so we'll see what that well-being is. And if you saw the first look video I put together on this, we kind of went over just real briefly what the well-being is, but we'll definitely be focused on that as we play. So let's see, we've got, looks like about 5 maps to choose from. Plains, Canyon, Meander, Thousand Islands, like the salad dressing, and waterfalls. So let's just go with the one they're recommending here, Plains. I think that's the one we did in the first look. So that'll get us off to a little bit quicker start. And then the tip down here at the bottom just mentions that you can stack on top of buildings that are marked solid. All right, we'll just wait for this to load. I don't think it takes real long. But yeah, if you did see the first look video, let me know in the comments what you think, what your impressions are. Again, this one's got a pretty active Discord, so I encourage you to check that out and sign up for the different contests they have where they're giving out the beta keys. All right, here we go. I'm just going to spin this around so we can see. Here's our initial little colony of beavers. We've got, if we look in the top right, top left, we've got 7 adults and 4 children. And these little zeros mean that there's no housing. We have housing for nobody. So we'll have to build houses. And we've got 4 jobless beavers. So the 3 that are working, we've got 2 here in the builder's hut. And this builder's hut is sitting on top of a storage warehouse. And in the warehouse, looks like we've got some berries, and that's about it. And then we've also got some stairs leading up to a platform here. And at the back end of this platform, we've got a lumberjack flag. And we've got looks like we've got 2 beavers assigned there as well, doing lumberjacking. So we saw in the first look video that there's a few things we need to focus on very early on. I'm just going to pause the game here while I chat. One, we definitely need logs. We're gonna need logs. It's a game about beavers, so you're gonna be spending time chewing down trees. Then the beavers need to eat and drink. So we're gonna need to put down a water pump to provide water. And then the last kind of urgent thing would be food. And right now we've got a bunch of these berry bushes on the map that we can harvest berries from. But we need to place a gatherer flag, I believe it is, in order to get that going. But I believe these flags, and we'll just look at the build menu here. If I, at the very bottom of the screen, if I click on labor, I can see the builder flag. Those are the guys who are going to do the building. And we've already got that taken care of here. We've actually got a builder's hut, which stores more, which allows more beavers to do the work. A flag only allows a single beaver, but the hut allows 4 workers. So we're all set on that. We've got a hauling post here. This is just a place where we can have more beavers moving materials between the different work sites or moving materials from the work sites to storage. Let's see if I can find out where the harvesting food is. I guess it would be under the food menu. Here's the gatherer's flag. Let's see. Does it tell us what that costs to build? Let's select it and just see. It doesn't say, so maybe that doesn't require any resource. So let's get that going, actually. You can see the area of effect here that that's going to have. I'm going to go ahead and place it kind of close to these berries. Boom. And then hopefully it's in range. So if I click on the builder's hut, I can see it's in range of the builder's hut, and they will be able to reach that and build that flag. Then we can start harvesting the berries. We'll have food taken care of, and they'll bring the berries back to this warehouse, and that'll get us going. Now we need to think about the logs. And again, we saw in the first playthrough, the first look video, that in order to have logs even harvested, you got to have a place to put them. And so we're going to build a log pile here. Again, I just selected that. I'll deselect it. I just selected that from, I think it was storage and log pile. So let's put that on this dry land, this kind of cracked land where we can't grow trees or grow crops. Maybe we prioritize putting buildings on top of that since it's not very productive land. So that's a decent spot, I think, for a log pile. And I've got the game paused. I'm going to unpause it and let these guys get started. And now for logs, the last thing we need to do is just designate the area for cutting trees. So I'll do that again on the toolbar at the bottom here. I will pick manage tree cutting areas. I'll just click that, mark the tree cutting area, click that. And then I'm just going to select all these trees down here so they can cut those. Do it here. And then make sure I just have all these trees covered. So now our lumberjacks will go and start cutting trees in this area. They can only reach this far. And if we set a path down, they will be able to reach farther. So let's see. We've got our gatherer going already. That's got a person on it. We've got 2 woodcutters going. Now we need to think about water. So let's get a water pump down. Now that's going to actually take 12 logs to build. So they probably won't get started on this right away. Well, maybe they will. Looks like we're collecting logs. So let's drop that guy down. That'll take a little while to build, but that'll get us our water going. And then I see some trees over here. And we've got the lumberjack flag. Some of them are just out of reach. And I'm kind of wondering if we put a pathway down, will it extend the reach of this lumberjack flag and allow them to harvest this? Let's try it. The paths take a while to build. The dirt paths, I don't think they take any resource, but they do consume the builder's time. But I'm thinking maybe they can build this while they're waiting for logs to be chopped down. All right, so that's our start. We've got things going. We've got berries being collected here with this little guy. Eventually, we're going to need more food than this one little gatherer's flag can harvest for us, and we'll set up a farm. But I think we are always going to need berries. So let's see. If we click on this, does it tell us? Okay, berries satisfy hunger. Let's take a look at our well-being. It looks like they start us out actually at level 3. So we've got hunger in good shape. We're okay on thirst, although that's going to be declining pretty soon until that water pump gets built, because I don't think we have any water on supply. And then they're all looking good on sleep. And then these are all the things that we need to get to. And I can't click on these. Excuse me. All right, so we've got the beavers here starting to bring wood. We've got 4 more logs that we need for our water pump, and then we will be in good shape there. And so let's take a look at the build menu down here and see what we want to do next. We've got the basics kind of covered. In the back of our minds, we need to think about the drought or the dry season that's going to be coming. This will be my 3rd or 4th, playthrough of starting the game myself. And the drought seemed like it came in the 2nd day. So, it's not showing what day we're on yet, because we must be in like day 1. But, oh, cool. We got our water pump built. So that's good. But yeah, the drought is going to come, and I think we're going to want to have a dam in place before that happens. But the dams take a lot of logs, so I want to make sure that we've got enough tree harvesting happening before that drought comes. So let's see. I extended this path down here. I just want to experiment and see if we bring that down closer to these trees, is it going to allow our loggers to harvest these trees that are currently outside the range. So I think as this path gets built, it's still being built by the builders, that's supposed to increase the range of buildings. So we'll see what happens. In my previous playthroughs, I noticed that there is a little stairway here, or at least a way for our beavers to climb up to the next level, way over here. And then we've got a decent supply of trees here. Now, these ones are dead, and they're not going to regrow until we can get some water somehow routed over here, either through an irrigation system or if we build a canal. And I think that's what we'll probably end up doing, is building a canal. But getting back to what I was thinking, there is a way for them to climb up here. So I'm thinking maybe putting a lumberjack flag up here so we can harvest some of these logs, and then maybe put a storage yard or a log pile somewhere down here on the first level where they can store it. Maybe in this kind of barren area where it's all dried out. All right, so we've got water pump. We've got someone working in there. Nighttime is coming, so these guys are getting ready to sleep. They're just kind of hanging around right before bed, and now they're putting their little mats down, and this little guy's already sleeping. Little guy's sleeping, and the adults are just kind of hanging around for a little bit. And there's another child that's sleeping, and now the adults are starting to camp out here. And so we need to think about housing as well. Let's see. We could drop a lodge, and eventually we'll be able to build up here on these tiers, but there's really no, I don't see a stairway other than way over here. So we're going to have to stick to the ground for now. But before we place that house, we can have multiple levels. So it's kind of worth stacking or thinking about how we might want to stack the houses. It's going to take some research before we can actually build the stairs. But yeah, we can definitely stack, and it makes sense to go vertical to kind of preserve this very fertile land that we've got. So yeah, we've got wood that we're thinking about doing over here. We've got a house that we want to place. And then another thing we probably want to get started pretty soon is the science. And that's going to take an inventor's hut. And it just has one worker sitting in there. It takes 12 logs to build it. And then that beaver who works in the science hut will just continuously generate research points or science points that we're going to need for a bunch of the buildings that we're going to want. So getting that started earlier than later makes a lot of sense as well. Let's go ahead and place that guy, or at least the initial one. I don't know if we'll end up having more than one. I'm going to pop him again up back against this little cliff area. That'll give our builders something to do with the logs that are being produced. And then I think what's next might be a lodge. So we at least have one home going. And I think you've got to have the housing in order to have baby beavers. I don't think they will reproduce unless they have homes to live in, these lodges. So I might actually drop down a couple of these. Can't build it there. Eventually we'll stack these guys up. Maybe we could put one way over here. Why don't we do that? It might be out of reach of the builders, but we're going to have to build a path out this way anyway. But I'm thinking out here because the beavers will only work within a certain range of their home. And so if I place a lumberjack flag out this way, there's a chance no one's going to go work on it because they live too far away. And I guess the ones without a home, it's just kind of, I don't know where they're considered to be living. Maybe in the warehouse or something. I'm not sure how their range is determined if they don't have a home at all. But let's put a home over here. Right now it's outside of the builder's range, but we're going to have to build a path going out there. These guys are working on this path. Let's see if that's helped at all. It has. So now our lumberjacks can get to these trees as well. Let's mark them. I don't think we've marked these things for being cut. So let's do that. Boom. And now we should be in decent shape. If we look, there's some more trees here that are kind of out of range. So it probably doesn't hurt to put a walkway in this way as well. Let's do that. And they're supposed to move faster on these paths. Let's just go this way and see if we can extend that out a little bit. That's going to keep our builders pretty busy. But yeah, I think we're off to a decent start here. All right, what's next? I'm going to speed up the time to 3 times. And then I'm just thinking eventually I know we're going to need more logs. And then we need to get a path out to this lodge that we want built as well. So I'm going to drop more pathing down. Because I know we're going to want more logs. So let's just take the path this way through here and then up here and across here. That's going to take a while for our builders to do it, but I think that'll pay off in the long term. Okay, we've got a couple builders getting started on. Well, let's see. Our inventor's hut is up. Here comes nighttime, so no one's going to work. They're going to stop working, hang out for a little bit, and then they're going to conk out. And I may go 7 times during the night. There's just not much to see early on. All right, they're all conked out, getting ready for daytime. I'll cut it back to 3 speed. Got more trees being cut. I think once these trees are depleted, they are depleted. Now that I'm not sure. We'll see as we play on. We do have some little sprout trees that are sprouting up here. But I think once those grow big and get cut, then we're going to be out of wood until we place a forester. And where is that guy? That guy is right here under the wood on the toolbar. But we need 60 science points before we can unlock that. And in order to build it, we need planks. In order to get planks, we need power and we need a sawmill. So that's a little ways away. We've got 6 science points. We're starting to research, so that's good. This is all path that has yet to be built. We've got our first lodge, and we've got 3 beavers in there, 2 adults and a youngin'. And then we've got another lodge slated for construction, but the builders can't get there yet. As soon as that path gets built, they'll be able to reach that. So right now our builders are working on this path. Looks like they got that done. Let's see if yeah, okay, good. That was perfect. So now our lumberjacks can get to all of these trees. So that's going to be a good supply of wood. We're going to need it, especially when we start making this dam. I'm just trying to see where the best place is to do it. Maybe along here. Let's see. We can plop one of them down. They do consume a lot of wood. And this is under, where is this one under? I think it's under landscaping. Dams. Each one of these blocks is 20 logs. So it's going to take a bit of time. Maybe here to here. So we'll drop the first one down there. And that's going to keep our builders busy. They may go jump on that in the morning. I'm going to go up to 7 times again during the night. Starting to build out this path here. And again, the beavers will move faster on the paths. That should speed up things a bit. I also eventually want to get a water tank or 2 over here. The pump itself only stores 15. And I think the water tanks store 30 each, the small water tanks. Yeah, capacity 30. Each one takes 15 logs. So you can see we need a lot of logs. So I'm anxious to get some more working age beavers. I've got 2 here that are looking for a job. I could put them on builders. Let's go ahead and make them builders right now. So I just click the plus sign there to increase the capacity of our builder's hut. So that'll speed up a lot of stuff. And now this lodge is in range because they completed the path. We can see the beavers are eagerly taking logs out of our log pile and setting this up. Once they get that built and there's no more need to haul logs, I think they'll resume building the path here. Yeah, we can see a couple of them are already doing that. This just needs, here's the last 2 logs for our lodge, and these guys should assemble that or get that built. There they go. Boom. We've got 3 beavers that have moved in. Again, 2 adults and a youngster. And so if we look in the top left, we've got 9 adults and there's housing for 4. And we've got 2 children and they are both housed because we've got room for 2. So looks like we need a few more lodges. To get things going. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put, let's see, why don't we place another storage place for logs, log pile. I'm thinking in this desolate area. And I think we can tear these down pretty easily if we want to change things up. Let me just put it right on the, well, let's see. I'm thinking we may want to have a canal eventually when we get dynamite. And that's going to be a while. I haven't never used it. We can run a canal off of this and come up this way and maybe irrigate this land somehow and see if we can't turn it green and expand our colony that way. We can also, once we get this dam built, it's just, they haven't even delivered logs yet to it. We can colonize some of this side as well. Looks like they're just now starting to take logs. And we want to make sure we have a dam in place before the dry season. And we don't really know when the dry season is going to come. But again, as I mentioned, the first few playthroughs I did, the first dry season came pretty early. And then the one time I played this game, fairly long while I was making the first look video, it took a long time before the second dry season came. So once we're prepared for the first one, we should be in good shape for quite a while. So yeah, I was just thinking about dropping a log pile over here. Let's do it. Boom. And then I actually want to get another lumberjack flag going. Probably under wood, lumberjack flag. And I was thinking somewhere like around here. Like if we look at the range, that would give us access to all of these trees. And again, it's going to take some research and some extra buildings before we get a forester plant more trees for us. So we don't want to run out of logs. I'm going to drop this guy right here. Our beavers should build that pretty quick. Here's a log pile. One thing that's a little concerning about the game to me is you can see the beavers are starting to distribute the logs between the two log piles. And so, they're doing some work that maybe they don't necessarily need to. This log pile has a ton of capacity. They each can store 180 logs, but I see beavers trying to balance that out. And I don't know if that's kind of costing us, unnecessary effort when the beavers could be working on something else. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Probably makes sense to build another lodge. Why don't we do that? 2, plop that down. Make sure the door is facing out. I'm just going to pop them right there. This lumberjack flag has a warning above it saying, hey, there's no trees selected or no trees in its range. So let's do that. Just click on manage the cutting area, mark the trees, and we'll just take all of this and all of this. All right, we've got our first little section of dam built. We've got our third lodge. That got built really quick. So we've got 11 adults and housing for 6. And our children have hopefully they just grew up. Like if we look here at the bottom left, you can see kind of some status that's happened. So day 1-2, Zoljan has grown up. Zoljan. You can see who grows up, and then eventually some of our beavers are going to die, and that'll show up here as well. All right, I'm thinking one more lodge. And let's do this one over here. And again, that's going to help our beavers reproduce. And now if we look at the well-being, we start thinking about this, our comfort is going up because of the lodges we placed. And social life is the next one that I think is fairly easy to satisfy. And all we need to do to at least get that started is we'll go to the leisure button here down in the toolbar. And we can pick a campfire. It takes 15 logs. But this is going to help improve their social lives. I'm thinking I can do it in this barren area. So maybe I'll leave room for a walkway in between these buildings. But let's pop the first one there. And we'll have to play a while. At least I'll have to play a while before I can, get a good grasp of where's the ideal location for these different buildings and kind of a strategy around building placement. So that may take a little bit to perfect. Let's go ahead and drop down some more. Let's see, where was it? Landscaping. I think we need to do more dams. I'm just going to drop at least 2 more because, what did that say? Is it out of range? This construction site is too far from the builders. All right, let's put a path in. And hopefully this will allow them to get there, because we are going to need that dam before the dry season. All right, I'll just kick it up to 7 here while we're waiting for the night to get done. I'll go back down to 3. Our logs look okay. If we look up here at the very top of the screen, we can see our inventory. We've got 52 logs, which is good. 85 berries, that's pretty good as well. And then we've only got 3 water, and we are racking up the science, 51. So that's good. We'll have to look and pick which building to do first. I don't know if the forester makes sense to maybe unlock that first. Another option would be the stairs so we can get up these hills. and take a quick scan of the buildings, or we know we're going to need actually planks before we can do the forester. So it makes sense to unlock that building. Let's see, does it let us? Okay, no planks. We don't have to unlock the building. So that's cool. We just need power. And let's take a look at power. We've got the power wheel, which is like a big hamster wheel. It's a beaver operated backup source of power. It only outputs 50 horsepower, and it does require a beaver to do it, to generate that power. The other option is the water wheel. This produces 290 horsepower, so almost 6 times as much. It takes 50 logs. That's not cheap, but it's only 10 more logs than the hamster wheel here. And then during drought, this water wheel stops, so no more power. But if we're just using it for planks and we can stockpile some planks ahead of time, maybe that's not such a big deal. So here you can see our log pile over here is getting depleted. It kind of gets back to that point of, they just spent a bunch of time moving logs over to this log pile to balance it out. And that may have been a waste because we kind of need them closer here to these dams. So I think what I'm going to do is lay down tiles for the rest of these dams. And that's under landscaping. And I think they can finish that, hopefully. Let's see. It says it's too far from the builders. Build more paths. Let's see. Can't get all the required materials. So let's wrap up this first episode here. I'm just going to pause it real quick. We've got a good start here. We've got 4 lodges, which is awesome. We still have 3 adult beavers that are out in the cold. So we'll need to build additional lodges for them. We've got 2 children. It looks like if we look in the bottom left, we can see that 2 were just recently born. So that's important that we get more beavers doing the work here so we can expand our colony. And then we got a little notification here saying that our beavers are happier than ever. We've reached a new well-being with a high score of 4. And so if we look at our well-being before we go here, we can see thirst is hurting a little bit. So we probably want to think about putting a couple of water tanks down that'll store some water and maybe placing them strategically so beavers can quickly get to the water when they need a drink. We see our comforts going up as we place those lodges down. So that's helping our overall well-being score. And then we put down our little fire pit, and that's also helping. It's helping on the social life front. And so all those improvements have helped. Actually, let me play so we can see the little beavers get to the fire pit here because it's nighttime. They should make their way. Oh no, they're waking up. They're just waking up now. They're getting ready to start a new day. All right, I'll pause it here. We'll pick it up from here in the next episode. If you like what you see, please give the video a thumbs up and then consider subscribing. I've got colony builder games, automation games, and I may add some other genres too as we go. So definitely would appreciate it if you subscribe. That's what helps the channel grow. But for now, this is Glidercat signing off, saying I will see you in the next episode.